treat. It's going to take about 5 minutes if we could get your attention. Put your attention over to the New York Outdoor News booth area. We have the family of Peter Dubuc, the guy who caught the famous World Record Pike back in 1940 on our very own Sacandaga Lake. Real quick, we started the Fulton County Sports Hall of Fame a few years ago to recognize individuals from Fulton County that went on to do great things professionally or to have some kind of sports accomplishment of national significance. Up to date, it's been all baseball, football, and skiing people, and we've always found this record to be significant. The fact that it was a world record when it first happened. And then we're coming up on the 75th anniversary. We thought that occasion rose to do it this year and to meld it in with the Adirondack show. We're honored to have Peter Dubuc's family here today. We have his daughter Gail Freeman, his son-in-law Bill Freeman.
Husband, okay, Peter's son-in-law.
Husband Bill.
Sorry.
His grandson Bill Freeman III. His granddaughter Lisa Freeman Underwood and her husband Kurt. And the little guy who's riding the pike is Peter Dubuc's great-grandson, Jackson Underwood. I just want to thank and recognize Andy Fusco from Auburn. Andy wrote the Hall of Fame biography on Peter Dubuc. And he writes all the Hall of Fame biographies for us. I'm going to turn this over to Joe Calderone. He's our official Hall of Fame MC. And he's from In It to Win It Productions.
Thank you very much, Mike. How about one more big round of applause for Mike Hauser, Dave Karpinski, Andy Fusco. Before I read Peter Dubuc's bio as he gets ready to go into the Hall of Fame, I really want to touch on something real quick as far as what Mike was talking about and the importance of the Fulton County Baseball and Sports Hall of Fame. A lot of you people here, I'm sure, you're natives of the area. I know I've lived in this area for 40 years. It was my job to cover sports, and I didn't know about a lot of these athletes that are going in. Not only were they great athletes who just happen to be here and live here and work here, they are also people that are recognized the world around in the sports that they participated in. For example, somebody we might know, Jack Johnson, the late Jack Johnson. I mean, a world-class athlete. Jack McKeon, who wasn't born here, but played his Major League Baseball here and then went on to have what is kind of borderline a Hall of Fame managerial career. So if it wasn't for the Fulton County Baseball and Sports Hall of Fame, people wouldn't know about these great athletes who just happen to be from this area. And one of those athletes is the late Peter Dubuc. Born in Winooski, Vermont in 1892, Peter was the youngest of 9 children. He also happened to be a twin. I want to thank his family for that information. After finishing school, Peter moved from Vermont to Schenectady, New York to work for the New York Power and Light Company. Due to health reasons, Peter would retire early. But because of his early retirement, he was really allowed to chase his passion, which of course was fishing and the great outdoors. With the retirement money, he purchased a house on the Great Sacandaga Lake about 5 minutes north of Broadalbin, and that was in 1935. An avid sportsman, Peter established a commercial fishing guide service out of his lake home. He fished the Sacandaga Lake every single day, spring, summer, and fall. Even on days when he didn't have clients, you would see Peter out on the lake in his small power boat, doing what he loved to do, and ultimately what he was born to do. Now, most sports Hall of Famers all have their signature moments, and Pete's came about 75 years ago, September 15th, 1940. You heard Mike talk about it briefly. As was his custom, Pete was on the lake that day just as the sun was coming up. And for the first 90 minutes or so on the lake, like most fishermen know, he caught absolutely nothing. From the mouth of the Vi Creek to areas all around the lake, nothing. But that would not deter Pete from hanging out on the beautiful Sacandaga for just a little longer. Peter knew of a spot on the lake where large fish loved to lurk. However, it was also dangerous to fish there. The area was once a woodlot, and once the lake was flooded in 1930, the remnants of that woodlot remained, making it very tough to maneuver through there, especially on a fishing boat. But Peter did it very carefully, and because of it, he was about to land himself the fish of a lifetime, and at the same time, land himself in the annals of fishing history. As Peter increased the speed of his troll to raise his lure in order to avoid a snag on the submerged stumps, suddenly something stopped him in his tracks. In his own words, it was like a starving cat taking a mouse. Manned with the artillery to handle anything that the Great Sacandaga Lake would throw at him, Peter went to work. With a casting reel housing more than 100 yards of 12-pound test line, mounted on a 6-foot pole, a 4-foot bronze wire leader, and a 6-inch lure, Peter was ready for battle, and battle he would. From the initial snag of his line, he would spend the next hour trying to conquer this beast. It fought like a steer on a rope, Dubuc would say. He knew at this point that he had himself a prize fish, a northern pike, a species he had battled with many times, winning some, and of course, losing some. And in those losses, just like any other Hall of Famer or great athlete, he learned from those losses. In fact, because of that, he developed a method for landing big pike. And a big part of that was patience. Fighting the fish until it goes belly up from exhaustion, and then boat the fish by hand, not by gaff. A great plan, but this wasn't, of course, your average northern pike. But finally, after patience and time, this beast would finally succumb. After carefully working his prey toward the boat, he sped over to its Pelcher's General Store in Benedict to weigh and measure. Even before getting the official numbers, Peter Dubuc knew he caught something very special as onlookers gathered to tell him so. Sensing he might have a record, he would quickly take the fish from Benedict and go to Albany to get it weighed and measured once again. And Peter was right. At the time, he would have a world record. The northern pike he caught would weigh 46 pounds and 2 ounces and would measure 52.5 inches in length and 25 inches in girth. Now, there's no photographic evidence of this, but because Peter had the foresight to get the measurements and weight and height, not just once but twice, it's all on record. You can go check it out, so it's official. Now, Dubuc was 48 years old when he caught the record pike. Peter passed away in 1980 at the age of 88. At the time of his death, his catch was still a world record, and today, 35 years after his passing, it is still the United States record. I think that's quite the accomplishment. How about a big applause for Peter Dubuc and his family? And at this time, I'd like to call Mike Hauser back up to present Peter's family with the official induction plaque.
Thank you, Joe. So with this ceremony, with this plaque, Peter Dubuc, legendary angler, becomes the 15th member of the Fulton County Sports Hall of Fame.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Yep. Very proud. My dad would be very proud. Thank you.
You want to say anything?
I do say it. The rest of his grandchildren have all agreed that he's looking down from heaven with a great big smile.
So 3 plaques have been made. One will go to Gail Freeman and her family. Second one will go to the Fulton County Museum for permanent display. And a third one's also going to be donated to Bob Kazmierski over at the Wildlife Museum. So this record will be memorialized forever. So in closing, thank you everybody for coming to this, for supporting it. Anybody that bought the 50-50 raffles when we came in today, we thank you because all the proceeds are going to create a sports historical road marker that will be placed on the Sacandaga to memorialize his historic catch. Thank you.